Is it black and white?
Of course.
Probably.
Buddy.
Yes, Michael, it's black.
Did you hear what year it was made?
Let's repeat. 1932.
Yeah. Okay. It's probably black and white then. So
as you said that, right? You realize.
As I said it, I was like, "That's a dumb thing to say." I tried to grab it back, but it was too late.
Welcome to the Opening Kill podcast.
Before we begin, a quick warning. Opening Kill is a horror podcast that contains adult language, disturbing themes, and graphic descriptions of violent acts, especially the kills featured in each film. We also dive deep into plot details and character arcs. So if you haven't seen the movie we're covering, expect full spoilers ahead. Listener discretion is strongly advised.
Opening Kill, the horror podcast that slices deep into the genre we love. We're talking slashers, supernatural nightmares, creature features, and everything in between. Every episode, we break down a different horror film. From its killer cold open to its blood-soaked finale, we track the body count, analyze the scares, and give credit where it's gruesomely due. From iconic franchises to hidden gems, you'll find them all here. Hosted by filmmaker and horror scholar Brian O'Connor and Michael Duran, lifelong genre fan and screen scene specialist. So sharpen your knives, turn off the lights, and let's get into it. This is Opening Kill.
And welcome to Opening Kill, episode 51. My name is Michael Duran, and as always, I'm joined by my co-host, Brian O'Connor.
Hello there.
There you are.
And guess who else popped in?
Who else is here?
Hi.
It's
It's
Shay.
me.
Oh, shit.
Sorry.
Michael's nemesis is here.
When the
Researcher
fuck did you
Shay.
get here?
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm here. Sorry.
She magically arrived, so here we are with Shay.
All right, let's do this thing.
Mhm.
Oh, well, how was your week, everybody?
You know, it was a week.
Yes, it was.
I'm uncomfortable with how quickly we're already basically done with January.
Yeah.
I know. It's just poof gone already, it feels like.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of that. So, besides dealing with that, things are pretty good.
Good.
How about you, Brian?
Good. Yeah, I would say the same thing. I went and got myself cast in a play. I haven't been on stage in about 10 years, so I'm doing that. And that's taken a little bit to get used to, 4-hour rehearsals, every night. So yeah, it's been fun, but I'm a little tired. I won't lie, but yeah, and that'll go through March. So I'm going to be a walking zombie here for a bit.
Hey, you'll fit in with some of the stuff in this movie that we're going to talk about.
Exactly.
There you go.
I certainly will.
Brian, did you finish Stranger Things?
No. See, so Stranger Things has kind of been shelved right now because of all of the extracurricular activity in my life.
Sure.
So I will try and find time to slowly watch everything again. But between the rehearsals and the day job, and then trying to find time to watch the movie we're going to review on Opening Kill, and then doing Opening Kill, not a lot of time left in the day. And Stranger Things right now is not exactly near the top of the priority list. So, but I'll get there.
All right, whatever. I finally finished everything. I went back and watched season 1 to season 5.
Okay.
Got it all done. It was worth it, actually, going back and seeing everything all over again.
Right.
I really enjoyed it. So I do hope you get to do that at some point. But
I will. Yeah.
Might be a little bit.
Michael couldn't give a shit about Stranger Things. So
it's okay.
It's not that I don't know. I did watch the first season back when everyone was when it first came out, and everyone was just like, "Oh my God, you have to watch this. You have to watch this." So I was watching it with this expectation that something absolutely insane was going to happen, and then it didn't. And I was kind of just like, okay, so that I was a victim of expectations when it came to Stranger Things season 1.
It happens to all of us. I kind of agree. I wasn't into the hype right away.
Yeah.
And then I found that it was something to watch, though, every week. One of those things of it was something. So I did watch it, but I was slow. I was behind everybody else. I do that
Right.
a lot, actually. I kind of wait few years. Game of Thrones, I did the same thing. So it's just nice. It's finally like done with.
Right.
And now I
Right.
have to find a new fixation, which is exciting and scary at the same time. So we'll
Sure.
see.
Sure. Well, one of the movies I did watch this week, and I think Shay will appreciate this more than Michael. It's a movie called The Old Dark House. And the reason I say Shay will appreciate it, it's from 1932.
I was
Hell
about to
yeah.
say, sounds old and dumb.
Yep.
Directed by a guy who has been dead for probably 80 years, James Whale.
Of course.
The Old Dark House. It's an early horror comedy classic. It follows a group of stranded travelers who seek shelter in this remote mansion during a storm, and then they find themselves trapped. Boris Karloff is in it. He plays the mute, menacing butler, and then some other performers that like Charles Laughton was in it, and some others. So it's basically taking gothic and macabre humor. It kind of helped define the old dark house subgenre. So anyway, it was a pretty good movie. I enjoyed it. So
I own it.
yeah, you own
Boris-
it.
Boris played Frankenstein, right? Or was he the mummy? I know he was a universal monster.
He was definitely Frankenstein.
Right.
And he was in The Mummy as well. So,
Good job, Michael. Look at you.
Look at me. I know some shit from time to time. From time to time, some old movie shit I've got. I'm not going to watch that movie. Don't get me wrong.
I was just going to say, if you're into classic old movies, The Old Dark House is definitely worth a watch. But yeah, we knew Michael wouldn't watch it, so he's not going to waste his time on it. I
No.
highly recommend to other people to waste your time on it if you're into that stuff. So
Agreed.
Well, everyone, yeah. Like I don't know what it is. Is it black and white?
Of course,
Probably.
Buddy.
Yes, Michael, it's black.
Did you hear what year it was made?
Let's repeat.
As I-
1932.
Yeah. Okay. It's probably black and white then. So,
As
yeah,
you said that, right? You realize.
As I said it, I was like, that's a dumb thing to say. I tried to grab it back, but it was too late. So I'll just talk about the movies I saw.
There you go.
do.
So
do.
in back-to-back weeks, I've seen 2 movies that were my scare preview. So I'm doing pretty well. So my first one was Predator Badlands, which was a ton of fun. It's weird. It's a weird Predator movie, but it's still, it feels like a Star Wars movie, honestly. Like, and this was what I said in my review of it. I was like, this is going to be a better Mandalorian and Grogu movie than Mandalorian and Grogu. I can guarantee it. So a lot of fun. Definitely kind of interesting to have the Predator be the good guy, the hero that we're following, but I'm digging what they did. I want to see more. And then the other one I watched to get ready for The Bone Temple was 28 Years Later. Finally got around to watching that. I liked it. I think I'm going to like Bone Temple more. There's a lot of different tonal shifts in this movie. Like the first act feels like a classic 28 movie. Then the middle towards the end, you're like, this is interesting. Feels like it's just a coming of age movie with like a kid and his dying mom. And then the ending is the weirdest choice I've ever seen. But based off the trailers for Bone Temple, it works. It appears to work. So I'm excited to see what continues with this the movie. But really the main thing is there's a zombie in here who's got the biggest trout swinging between his legs. It dude, it slaps all over the place. And I'm every time it's on screen, I'm like, whoa, that is crazy. It belongs to the alpha, which my one question was, I wonder if you have to have that to magically get that alpha version of the disease. I sure hope so.
How else did he get it? Yeah, it's got to be the biggest penis.
Right. Or is it something in that strand that just makes the penis get big
Right,
on
which
its
one
own.
came first, the chicken or the egg? I
Exactly,
totally
exactly.
understand. Yeah, yeah.
I really hope we get those answers in 28 years later. Bone Temple, which based off the title, we might.
More like Boner Temple.
Boner Temple. Yeah. Listen to the people. That's what we want.
That's it exactly.
I haven't seen Badlands yet, but I really liked Prey a lot.
Same. And it's the same director.
Yeah, so I haven't seen it yet, but it's good to hear that you liked it. I will go watch that next. Thanks for the rec.
Yeah.
Wow, you're actually going to watch something Michael recommends. That's, I think, new for Opening Kill, Shay.
You know, it's a new year, new me-ish.
Turning over a new leaf.
Ish.
Well,
yeah, I definitely think we need to. The zombie thing, I think all of us have an opinion on. It's not my personal favorite, but Bone Temple has the set alone was really cool in 28 Years Later. So I'm excited. At least just, it might not be for the story. It might just be for the cool effects and the big penis. Yes.
And frankly,
And there
that's
it is.
enough. Like that's all we need in 2026.
I think you're right, Michael. That's all the world really needs, isn't it?
We need healing right now, and that can do it.
It'll fix everything, I promise.
Yes.
Moving on.
Moving on. So this week's movie is a fun one. Came out last year, Until Dawn, Just the Facts, directed by David F. Sandberg, who did Annabelle Creation, written by Gary Dauberman and Blair Butler. It was released April 25th of last year, 103 minutes long, rated R, filmed it in Budapest, Hungary, stars Ella Rubin, Michael Cimino, Odessa Azion, Ji Young-hoo, Belmont Cameli, and Maya Mitchell. 15 million is what they made it for. Turned around and made 54 million, just over that. Tagline, every night, a different nightmare, and nominated for Best Adaptation at the Game Awards. So, because it is based on a video game, so it was nominated, but did not win. And it follows a group of friends. They find themselves trapped in a deadly cycle where every night resets, every choice determines who survives. And it blends slasher thrills with supernatural elements and a little time loop action as well. So this was my favorite movie of 2025. I can just see you guys are not in agreement with me here. You're not taking the journey with me. That's okay. I don't care. But it was my favorite movie from last year.
It was fun. I'm not just saying that, but
I'm letting you have your opinion, Michael and Brian. You guys go ahead and talk. I'm just here for the laughs.
All right. So it starts with a flashback. We see Melanie, who is going to be the center of this whole story, played by Maya Mitchell. And we see her, let's just do this.
The opening kill.
We see her being killed by a masked fiend with what looks like a pick. And for me, I don't know. This wasn't that exciting. I actually gave this one a butter knife.
yeah, there's not much to it. You don't see it happen. You do get a little detail where you hear her say, like, I can't die again. So that's a little bit of like okay, something like that's going to be happening later on. So other than that little line, it's really quite forgettable. So butter knife.
Yeah,
Shay?
it's the beginning of a mystery, which is interesting, and it does, I think, hook us in a sense. But
Right.
yeah, it's still the kill itself. This movie has so many great practical effects, and so it's kind of sad when they skip out on getting to see, the axe and everything make contact or the blood splatter, stuff like that. So yeah, butter
Sure.
knife for me too.
And then we flash forward where 5 friends, Clover, her ex-boyfriend Max, they're traveling with their friends Nina and Megan and Nina's boyfriend Abe to retrace the final moments of Clover's missing sister Melanie, who we just saw get killed again. And they stop at this remote gas station and they have this kind of weird little seance thing in the middle of the parking lot. Megan is leading them in this thing. And they almost get run over by an RV. Pissed off
Megan's
RV
a
driver
flake.
slams on the horn. Yeah, I mean,
I can't. Megan is the worst. I'm just like,
Yeah.
shut up. Like we need
Yeah,
to.
she does.
We need to harness
Clay-
her energy right here
Yeah.
together. Hold our hands. We're gonna do this. And I know a lot of Megans. We live right near Ashland, but like, God, I just couldn't. I just wanted her to be quiet a lot of the movie.
Yeah.
I also know a lot of Megans, and yes, it is just an annoying the psychic medium, whatever you want to call it. It was a weird choice for her. That's her character, and
Yeah.
And
she
it doesn't really
plays it.
do anything. Like it's not really. She could not have that power, and the movie would have been the exact same.
Yes, it
And
would.
and slightly less annoying.
Yeah, I think it was just the way she was presenting it too that was really annoying to me. She was definitely my least favorite character. I think out of the 5 here that we meet.
But it is
So-
realistic in a sense. Like we know
Right.
people like that.
Oh
Other
yeah,
people probably do too. So
I'm sure.
Every friend group has to have one. I'm pretty positive.
Yep.
I'm hoping I'm never that one. I never want to be Megan.
Same.
Well-
I'll be any of the other horrible stereotypes, but not that one.
Not
Damn
that
it.
one. I think we're all pretty safe from that. So Clover goes into the gas station and talks to the guy behind the counter, Mr. Hill, and he's warning that people frequently disappear near Glore Valley, which is an abandoned mining town up the road. And the whole conversation starts when she asks him if he had worked there last year, and he says, "Yep." And the year before, and the year before, and on and on. So she shows him a picture of Melanie, and all he said was, "Oh, she gone missing," and that's how the whole missing person conversation starts. He struck me as odd to begin with.
Super sus right off the bat.
Right. Yeah. He was just everything about him. You're like, okay. But then at the same time, you're like, are you just one of those red herring things that always happens in movies like these? So
Right.
it was one
It's
of those
very
where you're-
different knowing the game as well as this movie. I definitely am the one that I played the game. I watched a lot of gameplay as well. And I feel like I'm tainted from that, and I come in with a bias. So
Mhm.
this is interesting to watch because I know exactly who this guy is before we find out in the movie.
Right.
And it kind of skews what happens next.
And this is a game I didn't play, actually, and I'm kind
Yeah.
of glad that I didn't. And, we were talking before the podcast, maybe if I had played the video game and then watched the movie, it may not have hit with me the way it did. Who knows? But it's definitely a problem with the movies that are adapted from video games. They're never going to be like the game. I
Never.
mean, they're always going to be a little bit different. So I don't know how I would have reacted had I actually played this game. But anyway,
it kind of seems like for whatever reason, video games are harder to adapt well than like books or any other
Mhm.
medium. For whatever reason, studios really just falter when it comes to a video game adaptation.
right.
I don't know what it is.
I think it's also trying to capture the video game audience to move over to the movies. They're one of the most like critical groups out there.
Right.
And so everyone that knows the game is immediately going to go in with probably disliking it because they don't like when in the past it hasn't been done well very often.
Mhm.
So we're all wondering like, oh, is it going to be as good? Most likely not. So it does
Right.
it does taint the experience a little bit. So that's why we do have different. It is not my movie not my favorite of 2025 for that reason mostly.
So the friends leave the gas station now. They get in the car because Clover now knows where her sister might be, and that is this town just up the road. So they find themselves in the middle of this tremendous rainstorm, and they're arguing about, pull over. We can't keep going in this direction. The storm is nuts. And as soon as they're about to pull over, turn around, they break through the water like it's a wall. And all of a sudden there's no rain. And they find themselves in what's left of this town. It consists of one building, a visitor center, and it's raining in a circle all the way around this building, but not on the building itself. So it's kind of this water wall of activity, and they get out and they're looking around. And so then they decide it's time to go inside and do some exploring.
Yeah, always a good choice. The water wall would have been enough for me to be like, something's amiss here. And one of the character tries to rationalize it. Oh, it's called like a where the rain does this. And you're like, no, it doesn't. That is not a thing. Leave right now. But they don't, of course. And they do their little exploration where they learn lots of people have gone missing here because there's wanted posters all over the walls. And everything appears to be super sketch.
The inside of the visitor center is interestingly decored, I would say, with lots of things, objects, and they all go snooping around, touching things, and they do find the book, the guest book.
Right.
Yeah. Where they find the sister's name in it.
Multiple times.
Many times. And it starts to get like sloppier written every single day.
So this
and
was
then all of a sudden
that
disappears.
Right. That was something that was I didn't quite understand because they didn't sign it every day, but it automatically had all their signatures for like that entire timeline. But I'm not going to question it too much. But that was something I was like, huh?
The way I saw it with Nina, she was always when she would wake up after we get into these death loops, when she would come back, she was always at the book again in the middle of signing. So, you know, she was the only one I think that signed the book.
Yeah, no, it was just Nina.
Yeah. So every time they come back to life in these time loops, she's always standing at the counter with the pen in her hand. So I'm only assuming that she was writing her name when she came back, and that's why it just keeps getting worse and worse.
Maybe.
Also, those missing people posters have no information. It just says missing, and their picture, no name or any information at all. It's kind of creepy. They're just all up there, and there's dozens and dozens of them.
And lots of little hints from the video game as well. People with...
I'm sure that's where a lot of the Easter eggs are.
Yeah, there was a lot of, fan art and edits and things like that they put in there specifically to help out the video game people, which I think I liked. I liked that part. That was fine with me. I liked it.
They also find an hourglass that has just recently been turned over. So now, in whatever context, time is starting to slip away, although they don't have any idea about why that is right now. But we're about to find out.
Yeah, and this hourglass is like in this whole like gear setup, like way overpowered, and that would have been another thing. Like that's suspicious.
Leaving.
Yeah. I'm out.
I don't like when hourglasses have gears attached to them.
It reminds me of Saw, and I'm like, something's wrong. I'm leaving.
Yeah.
Problem is if the thing is running, you can't escape, as we find out. So even if you saw it, you'd try to go, but there's no way to get out at this point because the quote unquote game is starting here. So, yeah.
So what happens next?
Well, somebody or something is in Abe's car, and they look out the window and it's gone. Then they look down the road a little bit farther and it's there with its headlights on. And so they don't go out there. They stay inside. They lock doors, which that's not going to help. And
honestly, though, I appreciated that they did that because that's actually a good choice, which normally they would have been like, fuck that, I'm going to go get my car back. And so I appreciated that they were actually cautious.
Yeah. Now, I agree with that. I think there were a couple of things that happened in here that, you know, normally you would see in a horror film. They didn't make those same decisions here. So I like you, Michael. I did appreciate that.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So they do the next worst thing and decide to go down into this hidden structure beneath the building because that's always got to be the case. You got to do something like that.
Basements are always safe in horror movies.
Of course they are. We talked about this last week. Basements and attics are the safest place to go in a horror film.
Exactly.
So a masked assailant kills Abe first, although we don't see it. Torso cut in half off screen. And then Nina is with him, and we don't see her die either, but she gets killed next by this masked person who's in the room, and that is kill number 3. So we have Melanie in the flashback at the top of the movie. We have Abe, and then Nina right behind for 3 kills so far, and we're about 10 minutes in.
And we're not done.
Max is next. Max gets stabbed in the eye with a wooden stake.
That one was good.
That one was a good kill.
I like that one.
Yep. And kill number 5 is Megan. Megan was hiding in the closet, and she gets pulled out, and this guy swings her by the legs into the wall, and she hits the floor, and then he grabs her head and bashes her head over and over into the floor. And that is kill number 5. Clover is in the room, and she stabs this assailant in the back of the shoulder and then runs. She gets outside, and then what does she do? She stops. See, you don't stop when you're running from whatever it is you're running from in a horror movie, and she's impaled with the pick that we saw earlier with her sister Melanie. So that is kill number 6. And now everything resets, and we go through this whole time loop over again because the group awakens alive at the start of the same night, and they discover a new signature guest book, or a new guest book signature, and their own missing person posters are now on the wall. And the hourglass confirms they are trapped in this repeating time loop. So yeah.
I do think it was interesting that everyone remembered exactly what happened, and they're all talking about it like, how can we all remember this and yet still be here? It was like, they weren't dumb about it. They immediately started talking. No one hid anything. I mean, they aren't the stupidest characters, thank God.
Right.
This movie would have been 10 times worse if they were dumb.
Oh,
Right.
man.
Well, and I also like that, like with, for instance, like Happy Death Day, where only one character notices it. And that does get a little tedious in that. So I appreciate that we get everyone. It's not like a mystery. We know there's a loop. Everyone else does too. And we can just roll with the punches.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So over successive nights, they are stalked and killed by the masked assailant, supernatural forces, and these monstrous creatures. So now we're into the second round of kills where everyone's alive again. And Megan is next, and she gets possessed and ends up in the room where the wanted posters are. And the rest of the group walks in, and they see her floating in the air. And the camera work here is really, really cool. And I know that they sped the film up in post, because when she points at one of the pictures on the wall, her hand goes so fast, and it just with precision. But she's pointing at each picture, and then in that person's voice, she's becoming that person and crying out, which I thought was really cool. And
this is a cool scene for sure.
Yeah, this was really well done. And then she breaks her neck and falls to the floor, and that's the end of Megan round 2 for kill number 7.
She does say, "Don't let it in," and then knocking starts, which was great timing, gives you chills. And they're all looking at each other like, what is going on?
Yeah. Yeah, it was just a really, really trippy scene.
This is the one instance where they do something really stupid, though. I should say Clover does something really stupid, because the voice of her sister is what's behind the door. So, of course, even though it's quite obvious, not her sister, and her friend was just floating in the air speaking in different language, like different voices. So she should have assumed, hey, whatever did that is probably doing this, but she doesn't. She opens the door to nothing, which is so often the case. And then by an invisible force, she gets pulled towards this new building that just is now popped up.
Yeah.
Because there was just the visitor center. Now there's this dilapidated,
haunted
horrifying,
house is what I call it. Yes.
Yeah. There's now a nice haunted house across the street, and she's just getting pulled by this invisible force towards this open door. And This would be creepy to witness and,
Just a little, yeah.
happen to you.
Yeah. You think?
If I was in that friend group immediately after she got pulled out, guess what I'm doing? Shutting the door.
Well, and this did
And
not look
locking it.
like it felt good either, because
no.
she gets jerked like 3 or 4 times and it's hard and she hits hard, and then she kind of like is in a daze, and then she gets ripped again, and then finally right through the front door, and she's in this place now. So yeah. And yeah, she's kind of walking around exploring this place, and she stumbles upon this mysterious elderly woman. I would call her a witch. And she warns her, quote, "You must survive the night or become part of it."
Right.
And she's on top of Clover. She's got her pinned down, and then she just falls off to the side and disintegrates into dust. Her clothes are the only thing that's really left here.
She has this breathing mask that she needs, and she shoves that onto Clover's face.
Yep.
So I'm assuming without that supernatural air that she can't survive in the world, and so she just disintegrates.
That's a good point. And I will say Clover's not the same after she's been breathing through this mask, because it's almost like she's possessed now. And the next time we see her, she's in one of those fancy masks that we see a little bit of here from time to time in the movie. But yeah. But anyway, the witch is kill number 8. So, and I mean, the group repeatedly fails to escape this whole cycle. I don't think I need to say that, because the movie goes on, and Max eventually goes across to the haunted house to try and find out what the hell happened to Clover. And Nina and Abe get into the car and try to leave, and they do sort of. They break back into the rain, and then they hear this monster sound, which was interesting.
They see this giant monster very briefly between the fog. I wish we could have seen more of that. I was very intrigued by it, and that's it. So I'm not sure what that was. But yeah, they then haul back towards the safety of the visitor center, and they end up. I think they run over Clover. Is that right?
No, they don't, because they're killed first. Something gets Abe through the driver's side window. You don't really see it, though. So it's like he's impaled, I think. He's got blood down the side of his face. He's dead. Nina screams. The camera cuts away, but we can only assume that she's dead, too, because they all come back here pretty soon. So 9 and 10 are the kills right there. Max is killed by Clover next, who is now possessed, and she's wearing the mask in the haunted house. Kill number 11. And then Clover in the mask, still possessed, walks across the road to the visitor center and is struck and killed by whoever it is that's now driving Abe's car for kill 12. And then that starts the sequence all over again.
We never really find out who was in the car.
No, we don't.
It's that masked guy, right?
I would
Most
assume.
likely.
Because he shows up, like, he's kind of a pretty consistent foe that they run into. So I assume, and he's the only human who would be able to drive.
Human-ish,
yes.
yeah.
Yeah,
all the
other ones that are humanoid don't really seem to have the brain power to operate a vehicle, but maybe they can.
Well, they all wake up now, and they're sitting around in the bathroom, and Abe wants to get some water out of the bathroom sink, and Megan says, water doesn't work. He looks at her, takes a glass, and turns the water on. At first, it's a little bit dirty, and then it clears up, and she was like, it wasn't working. And so he gets some water, takes a drink, and he starts coughing. Then pretty violently, he starts coughing, and then boom, he explodes for kill 13.
These were so good. The effects on all the explosion deaths were incredible. I was so excited when this happened. I was like, oh, yeah.
Oh, my God. It was so instantaneous for most of them. It was just like, oh, okay, this is what we're doing now. Oh, my God.
Yep. So, yeah,
Nina's
he explodes,
next.
and then Nina gets some of him in her mouth.
The next one is kind of painful to watch. It's Megan, because they've left the bathroom now, and Megan starts to cough, and her leg explodes, and it blows off below the knee. So she hits the ground. turns over on her back, and her stomach starts to swell up. It looks like she's pregnant. She rolls back over on her stomach and crawls towards the other two, and that explodes. And then her head explodes, and that's kill 15. So it was like a 3-punch kill for Megan.
My favorite thing about Megan is that I think the directors also hated her because she easily gets the worst of everything.
She really does. Yeah.
Even
Fun
that
fact-
first night, night where she gets her face smashed into the floor multiple times. I'm like, every night I feel like she gets it worse.
Yep.
Fun fact though, that the leg blowing off and the crawling, a lot of that was actual practical effects. They just did a little bit of CGI to make it blend, but they did have prosthetic leg and everything like that. I do like this movie for the amount of practical compared to they could have made this all CGI and we would have noticed and we would have hated it. Well, I would have.
Oh, sure.
I don't know about
you would have.
Well, especially with some of the things that come later, like that was something that really made me happy seeing those as people in makeup. Like that would have easily been something that they could have made super shitty in CG, and it would have looked 10 times worse. So I think their use of practical effects was really well done here, and with the digital, they actually did it right, where you use digital as a tool, not as the whole thing.
No, totally. So there's only 2 left now. It's Clover and Max, and Clover asks Max to kill her so that they can all die and restart this because they know. He resists, and then he just explodes. And I was not expecting that one. Actually, that one surprised me. Kill 16. So just out of nowhere, he's gone too. Same thing.
The thing that was so cool is that I got to have that experience of watching Ready or Not again for the first time, where just that glee of like, oh shit, they're exploding. And for like multiple kills too, they did it in a way that surprised you. Like with this one, you're just like, oh shit, I didn't even see him get any water in his mouth, but I guess we're all just doing this.
Oh man. So it's just Clover, and then the guy from the gas station, Hill, he enters the room. And she's like, you? And he tells her that she almost survived, and they have to be active and don't try to avoid the situation because you'll die every time. And then Clover explodes, and that's the end of her for kill 17. And he does it, or she explodes because he's kind of like bending down to her to talk to her. And so he's got blood dripping from his face now and everything else after her explosion death. So again, that's all of them, and the sequence restarts.
And so now we know that guy officially is a bad guy, clearly leading whatever is happening here. He's in charge of it. And I did love that, like, Clover's like, okay, these friends are dead. We don't want to win now, so let's just kill. Like, I like that. And like, they were rationalizing. They're like, well, we've seen everyone has at least 13 chances, so we know this isn't going to be it. So let's just start over. It was good. It built like real camaraderie that you kind of end up believing between these people, even though they bicker and fight like real individuals. There's a lot of drama within the group that they're going to need to work out later, but there is still that really strong core of like, no, we're in this together, which was cool.
They restart this again. Now they are in this other room, and they learn that Hill is actually a therapist, and that in the town of Glore, or I should say the town of Glore was basically the victim of a mining accident. The whole town pretty much disappeared. Hundreds of people died. And they watch this videotape. I think it's Max that puts in a videotape, and at first it's a porn. And he's like, oh, and they're like, you wanted us to watch this right now? Do we need to leave you alone for a while? He's like, no. There's another tape.
Shut up, guys.
Yeah. So he puts in the second tape, and it's this recording of people that are being basically experimented on by the good Dr. Hill. And it reveals that prolonged exposure to the loop transforms these victims into Wendigo-like creatures. And Hill suggests that escape is possible only if one person permanently dies. So, and then Dr. Hill contacts them on the radio because there's this old radio in there, and they try and call for help, and he contacts them, and Clover says, I want to see you in person. And he says, all right, just you though. And he says, I'm out in the forest and I have your sister Melanie with me and I might let you see her. And Abe encourages her to go while the rest of the group is telling her, no, don't, because he's not going to be the one that's going to sacrifice himself for the others. He said that clearly, but he's encouraging others to go out and do what they've got to do.
I mean, hey, someone's got to die. So he's like, well,
yeah. So
technically
Clover,
she is to blame.
well, yeah,
A
she
little.
is.
Yeah.
So if someone has to die, it really should be her in theory.
Yeah. So she takes off. Abe doesn't move. Max and Megan take off after Clover, and then Clover's out the door and gone. So the others are just kind of standing around now in the right in front of the front door, and they start to bicker and argue. And so Nina takes that pick and swings it at Abe and, impales him with it. He doesn't die, but Max and Megan take off for the woods. And as soon as they leave, the masked intruder comes back in and then kills Abe with a knife while he's laying on the floor. And then Nina says, I'm next, tells him, me next. And so he kills her. So, yeah, kills 18 and 19 right there again.
I like the fact that they all have scars of sorts from every death that they've had.
Yes.
So like there's bruising around the eyes from when they got stabbed in the eye, or there's like a pain in where you got killed last time.
Mm-hmm.
And I did think it was kind of funny as soon as one of them dies, they're kind of like, all right, me next, let's get this over with so that we can just start again.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, and that's what you would think. I mean, going through these loops, it's like, motherfucker, can we just all survive? Now we all have to die again so we can come back and enforce and do this.
Although Abe was kind of an ass, so it was fine. I
get where he's coming from, though. Like he's not.
He was the outsider,
attached.
though.
He's the outsider, and he's kind of sees this for what it is. Where you're like he's seeing it. Like, well, we wouldn't be here if it wasn't for fucking Clover and her sister that she never dealt with in therapy.
Yep.
Right.
Well, and Abe didn't really know.
Not saying that's right, but I'm just...
No. So Abe didn't even really know why they were on this trip to begin with. The rest of the group never shared specifics, and they finally told him when they were out of Clover's presence that they're just kind of doing this to make her feel better. They weren't expecting to find her sister because they all assumed she was dead, but they were just trying to make her feel better. But Abe didn't know any of that until they were already screwed.
He was just the new boyfriend of Nina, and he was just like following Nina around like a puppy. So now he's here.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, now he's here. Thanks.
I would be so pissed.
Oh.
Well, yeah.
I would wait for all of them to die, and then I would just leave. Like,
yep,
there you go.
Pretty much. If you could at that point, but you're kind of stuck. I mean, I don't think you can.
They're in this
leave.
problem now.
Yeah.
They have to figure out how they can leave soon because the deaths are piling up now. They only have a certain amount of chances. So it's like, okay, someone's got to figure out how we can leave. Then we all have to die again. And then we got to come back.
Right. Yeah. So Max and Megan are still out in the woods chasing down Clover, and they find this giant pit where all of these cars who have passed into this town have been disposed of. And they're like, oh, shit. And then Megan ends up getting killed by a Wendigo, kill number 20. Max ends up finding Clover, and they both discover Melanie, but Melanie is also a Wendigo now. So Clover tells Max to slit her throat and kill her so she can gain knowledge of the loop's rules. And he does. I'm kind of surprised he does, but I think at this point they're just like, well, I mean, we might as well.
This isn't real. It's fine.
We're going to come back and start this over. So, so Clover is killed 21. Max confronts the Wendigo after he had just drank some water that was dripping down above him, and he explodes in front of it for kill 22.
I did like that he ends up because Clover gets trapped in like a bear trap. and he
Yeah.
ends up like shoving that trap onto the Wendigo's face. And I was like, hell yeah.
Yep.
Again, they're
Yeah.
very resourceful.
Yeah. Yeah. This isn't Friday the 13th where the counselors were scrambling trying to get out of it by doing stupid things.
Right.
So, yeah.
We can bang our way out of this. No, you can't.
Yeah. No.
I thought it would have been kind of silly if there was like this weird rule that if you purposely kill one of your friends, then they don't come back. Like the guilt that he would have felt the next day, where it's like, oh shit, where's Clover? And then a voiceover would have come on like, well, if you kill your friends, they don't actually come back.
Yeah.
That would be so awful.
And then
oh
he
my
would,
gosh.
and
Glad
then he
they
would
didn't
just,
do that.
hey, it would have added up the ante.
Right.
I mean, we can tell the premise of the story is about trauma,
Right.
which, is pretty much every horror movie at this point. There's always something traumatic, but they're dealing with their past traumas, and trying to figure out what the right thing to do is for everyone, hopefully, to survive. So yeah, the guilt thing, that could have worked of, we all got the trauma from the past, but now you're just going to add on to it with killing your own friend. You'll always have that memory, though.
Right.
Always.
Oh, sure.
And it would have been a switcheroo of the main character.
True. I do think, I do love that the game is a lot about, I pronounce it Wendigo, but Wendigo is also, heard it both ways. But the game was a lot about the Wendigo stuff. So this is like the first kind of time where they're talking about it, of how they turned into it, because miners, got trapped underground and had to revert to cannibalism. And of course, they're not getting the same nutrients they're supposed to be. Plus, it's also some sort of weird experiment land, and there's some drugs involved and things like that. So having it in the movie at this point was like, okay, cool. We're bringing it back a little bit to the story we know.
Right.
And then they do tie it in with the game a little bit more that way, which I was okay with.
I love Wendigos. I think they're super cool. My wife doesn't like when I say the name, because I guess you're not supposed to like say the name, otherwise it can summon it. So naturally, I like to just say it randomly while we're out and about. But
shit, we're screwed today then.
So no, lock the doors. But
sorry, Hannah.
I did like that they actually created the correct backstory where it's because you consume human flesh that caused you to become a Wendigo. Granted, I do like the design where they have like the deer face and antlers a bit more than just
me too.
these things. But this is the more accurate to what it all started as. So I guess it's accurate, but I prefer the cool deer thing more.
I'm more of a Skinwalker fan myself. And you're also not supposed to say that word because it's I guess
it's like Voldemort, I guess. I don't know.
Sure.
Well, we might as well just summon all of them while we're at it.
Who's got a Ouija board?
Let's do some more. Yeah, there we go.
Oh, man. Well, we do get a little backstory, tiny bit here in a dream sequence, because Clover's having a dream about when her sister first leaves home, and she's trying to get her to go with her because she doesn't want to be stuck in this town with, being somebody she doesn't want to be, and she's going to go out and explore the world, and Clover will not go with her. So, and then some shit happens and it scares her, and she wakes up and realizes it was a nightmare, and all the friends are together again. And they realize they've been there a total of 13 nights. That's how many times that Nina's name appears in that guest book.
We're just skipping some nights, so we'll see that later. Like the story skipped over stuff.
I mean, if they were to show all 13 nights, this would have been like a 6-hour film. So,
and I kind of prefer how they show the other nights. I was like, ooh, this sequence is really cool. It was actually one of my favorite
parts. Who doesn't love a montage?
I love a montage.
Well, they also realize that the most anyone's name appears in that guest book is 13 nights. Yep. So now they're on their last swing here. And then this is kind of weird to me. It took them a few minutes to realize that Megan is still missing. She's not with the group. They were like talking, and there was like, oh shit, where's Megan?
They're just happy to be free of her.
Honestly,
they
I didn't miss her
probably were.
at that point either.
So next, they start watching videos on Abe's phone that he had taken the past couple of nights, and this is what you were talking about, Michael. This is how we get to see some of those previous nights that aren't actually in the film.
Right. And it looks so cool because it's all found footage. It's, I think, legitimately terrifying in some moments. My favorite scene is they walk down this hall and then they look back down the hall and they see like something there. And then it stands up and it's like the size of the hall and it just comes running at them. I was like, oh shit, that was awesome as hell. I don't know what that was, but who cares? So there's just a couple of those moments in here where it's just a really fun little montage. It's so cool.
And I do appreciate how they were able to do that and not stretch this film out too much longer, because it was already, I mean, it was more than an hour and a half just by a little bit. But yeah, any more of the kills, any more of the nights, and this would have stretched out a little bit too long for me.
And it would
Especially if
have
they're
gotten a
not
little too
learning
repetitive. Yeah, it would have just gotten
Exactly.
too repetitive.
Yep, totally. So we learn that, Glore Valley, this town, was destroyed by the mining disaster. It killed hundreds. Hill was brought in as this therapist to study the survivors, but in reality, he'd been doing these experiments. And as their bodies began deteriorating into Wendigos, however you wish to pronounce it, they go after Hill, who they believe is in an underground sanatorium. So their bodies are now changing. And I think it was Abe that said, "Is there something on my back?" And he pulls up his shirt, and he's starting to morph into Wendigo. And they're like, they don't want to tell him. So they're like, no, you look fine. Oh man, it just feels like there's something back there. So,
well, in one of the nights from the video footage is Clover has something like in her face and they try to get it out. And it just shoots up and they're like, we got it.
Is it there?
Good.
No,
You're fine.
It's good.
She
That would
looks
be
back.
me.
Her
I'd
whole
go,
eye is just like, fucking, you look great. You're like,
yeah.
So pretty.
So their bodies are
Beautiful.
starting to transform now into these Wendigos. So they go after Hill and they find this map because Megan's psychic powers points her to the top drawer in this desk, and she pulls out a map of Glore Valley, and they find, well, where is he in the city? The city's gone. He can't be anywhere. And they point to this sanatorium that's underground, and that's where they think he is. So they decide they're gonna do that. Clover goes out on her own to find Megan after the group is confronted by the masked madman. And so, and then she stumbles on the Wendigo, the Wendigo version of Melanie, and kills her. So she kills her own sister, which took guts. And normally in a movie where you see something like this, they get very emotional and they take their time and they can't bring themselves to kill their loved one. Actually, Clover did a pretty nice job. She didn't waste much time and just did it. And that was kill 23.
We love a killing queen. Like that's the right choice. Just, it's not your sister anymore. Just kill her.
Yep.
So
I mean, they
like,
have
good.
been replaying this night so many times. It's kind of like, oh dear God, let's get it over with.
Yeah.
Right. And then
so the rest of them, they gang up on the masked man, and this is cool.
Yeah, they kind of end up beating the shit out of him. Even though a couple of there's like one where they hit him with like this wooden chair. I'm like, that didn't look very strong.
They didn't do
but,
much.
Yeah,
No.
and this is a big guy, so he would have probably been totally fine. But they end up subduing him, and good for them. It's good teamwork.
And that's what they call therapy. Yep.
Hey,
Yeah.
that is therapeutic.
And he gets his head smashed in while he's on the floor with a sledgehammer. And it's a pretty nice, this is like something out of Terrifier. I mean, it just was like, oh, okay, they can kill this guy. And they did.
And I like that they all had to swing it. Like it was too heavy for just one. So like, all three of them swing this thing and it just like a watermelon explodes. This is one of the best deaths in the whole movie, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I think so too. Yeah, definitely. Clover finds Megan in one of Dr. Hill's experimentation rooms and then finds his office, and she sees a psych report on herself sitting on his desk. And this room is filled with television monitors, so he can basically surveil the entire compound.
Yeah.
He can see everything going on at the visitor center and hear at this place he's at. And Clover ends up confronting him. He walks into the office, shuts the door behind him, and he's got a cup of coffee in his hand. That's important to know. And he tells her she's been a most fascinating patient.
And he's doing his bad guy monologue and not paying attention. So and there's like a drip in a pipe or whatever, a dripping water. And so she just scooches that cup of coffee over under it. A couple drops fall in, scooches it back to where it was. And I was curious here. I'm like, okay, because this is kind of his thing. So I was curious if the rules were going to apply to him. So when he drinks that cup, I was just waiting. I'm like, okay, what's going to happen to him? And he ends up exploding, which was super cool. I'm like, okay, hell yeah. And
So-
with Clover and Megan, there's a Wendigo in that room with Megan, but he's tied up, so he can't quite reach her.
Right.
Little detail
Couple of
there.
points to make, too. Before he explodes, he's explaining this whole situation to her. And he tells Clover that the creatures that are attacking the group are manifestations of Clover's grief, guilt, and depression. She apparently has tried to commit suicide a couple of times. She's had all kinds of issues in her personal life growing up. So he tells her that. And in this scene, Clover asks the question that is asked in every single horror film, and that is, quote, "Why are you doing this?" Unquote. It's like the most overwritten line for a horror film. That is the one that every time I hear it, I'm like, oh, come on. Seriously. I mean, I've written that line before in stuff. Shay, I think, has actually had to say that line in one of my short films. But
I think I've said it a few times. Yeah,
you might have.
I say it in everyday life too, though. Honestly,
why are you doing this?
Why are you doing this to
Honestly,
me?
Yeah, if I was in this situation, I would definitely be like, but why? This is not right.
Yeah. Right.
And when he gives her the answer, and I'm still not entirely, it doesn't really make sense. This is the one aspect of the movie where I'm like, it's not satisfying. It still leaves me with a ton of questions, but whatever.
Right.
Especially like the creatures being represented. I'm like, no, those are just the past victims.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
Like that's not anything to do with her grief. That's just Wendigos that you turned into Wendigos. This is all you.
Right. He's
trying to pass the blame. Like, this is because of your trauma. It's like, no, it's because you're a fucking dick and you're killing people.
I think my favorite answer to the question, why are you doing this? Was it from The Strangers? Where it's because you answered the door.
Oh, right.
That's the best one out of all of them. All the rest are like, you go, oh, all right. Whatever.
So the good doctor is kill number 25. And she's able to get Megan out of her little room. And just as the Wendigo breaks its chain and lunges for them, and they're able to shut and lock the door so it can't get out. And the remaining group, they escape through the tunnels just as the hourglass empties. They pull the two girls out of the ground because they're coming up this tunnel, and they get them out just in time. And the sun rises, ending the loop because it is dawn. So they leave, and then surveillance monitors activate in Hill's office, and it shows, a car arriving.
The ending is showing the snowy cabin where the game begins, just to be clear. So
right.
And it does show Dr. Hill is in that, but it's more of a figment of the antagonist's imagination. He's more inside the head already.
Mm-hmm.
Not sure how that happens if he's physically dead. It's complicated, but it is kind of cool. They do at the very last minute tie it to the game. In theory, we think maybe they'll make a movie version of it in the far future, but it'll have to be, once again, different than the game, no matter what, to make it satisfying of any sort. So
sure. Okay. Interesting. Final kill count was 25. That's a decent number. We haven't had one up that high in a bit, so that was nice. Favorite character? I'd say Clover.
I gotta go with Nina for whatever reason. She's just cool. Like, she's just fucking badass, and I like that time where she just fucking kills Abel. Like, I was like, okay. So I think Nina was cool. She's got the swagger.
Right.
I agree. I think the girls did the better jobs here.
Yeah.
Because the boys were annoying a lot. Maybe I'll say Megan just to piss you guys off.
Motherfucker.
Well, that
That's
works.
that is not your favorite.
No, it's
No.
not. Now you're
It's
just making
not.
shit
Okay.
up.
All right, fine. I'll pick Clover. Whatever. Move on.
Yay. Favorite kill. Mine was Megan exploding in chunks. I mean, literally chunks.
I think I got to go with the mask guy, just with the sledgehammer to the melon explosion. It was good. It was so good.
Mm-hmm.
I think just the bathroom scene in general was so fantastic. Like all of them in that moment would be mine. I know that's kind of a cop out. All of them.
All of them.
All the deaths, please.
Well, that is my favorite scene in the movie, the exploding bathroom sequence. I just thought that was great, even when it carried out into the hallway and then finally when Clover ends up going herself.
That could, yeah, it's between that scene
Kind of the
or
best.
the cell phone footage montage for being my favorite. I think the phone montage is just by a hair, but those two are the best scenes in the movie for sure.
I'm gonna go with the haunted house and the witch scene, just because the vibe changes up like
Yeah.
mid movie.
Mm-hmm.
New location. It was all just kind of like, where is this coming from? And I thought it was done well. And there's lots of Easter eggs along the way as well in there for the
Okay.
game people. So
I did have a question for the game people. Was the clown doll any significance that the one guy picks up? That just seemed like it was an Easter egg for someone who doesn't know.
I
It just
don't personally remember it from the game. I do the mask. It's complicated. The main bad guy in the game is dude in the mask, kind of like the guy we see in this movie, but he has more of like a clown appearance.
okay. So that
And
might be what it was.
it turns out to be more, yeah, it's someone that they know is under that mask. So I don't remember specifically a doll. That might be my bad though, because this game came out 11 years ago now. So
Right.
been
Okay.
a little minute.
It just felt like it meant
Something, yeah.
something. Yeah.
There's a lot of moments like that, I think. I would assume as someone who's never played the game, you go, why are
Mhm.
they showing me this? It must be from the
Right.
game.
Yeah.
That kind of
Right.
thing.
Well, it's gotten me curious about the game, and I'll probably pick up a copy and play it now and just to see, because I'm sure I will find things in the movie now that didn't make a lot of sense.
I
you know,
mean,
or maybe not didn't make a lot of sense, but will be clearer.
yeah, I think it's fun. I was a big Goosebumps reader, where you
Mhm.
could pick your own ending. So a game like that where it's more of a story based, there are still some moments you're gonna hate, Brian. I know you don't love super scary games, but most of it is storytelling, which we love,
Mm-hmm.
and then getting to pick where your choices will determine the ending, and that's always fun.
Right. Let's see. How screwed are we? Well, I would be
Mentally,
screwed because
yeah.
I would be too dumb to figure this out, and I would not know what's going on, and I would not get out of this. I'll tell you right now. So
Yeah. I'm not mentally strong enough to do it. Like it would, like the first time I die and come back, I would just have a full blown meltdown and be crying in the corner for the remaining 12 nights and just die.
Right.
Bro, if this was based off of my fears, it would be a lot of spider stuff, and I would just have a heart attack every time. So
Yeah.
I'm out.
Sure.
Yeah, like I'm not living.
Nope. Okay, so we're all pretty much screwed, is what I'm hearing here.
Yeah.
All right. So we have 3 final girls, 2 final boys. If it wasn't for the boys, I'd probably give them a perfect score, but I will give them an 8.
That sounds fair.
Yeah. I'm gonna go with an 8. Just because for me, the final girls, there's no one in here who feels iconic. Like even though like Clover is good, really good, but she just doesn't have the staying power, I guess, of some others.
Right.
So 8 is fair.
I don't think she'd be able to do it without everybody else.
I don't
So,
either. I think there's a reason all of them survive is because they all need each other.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I know this is this next one is going to be decisive among all of us here. Star grade, it's a 5.
Definitely not a 5 for me. It's 3.5 for me. It's good. I liked it. I had a lot of fun. But yeah.
It was a 3 for me. I know.
Well,
I liked parts of it, but not a lot of it.
I feel like if the explanation for everything would have been stronger, my grade would have been a lot higher. But as is, I was just like, okay, I don't feel like that answers anything, but okay, whatever. Like, I didn't really care too much, but
Yeah.
it was confusing.
If this
Okay.
wasn't tied to the game at all, would have been a higher score.
Yeah. Okay. That makes sense. All right. Slasher survival tip. If the night keeps repeating, change your choices. Doing the same thing twice is how you die faster. Want to shout out to our good friend Courtney from the Jaunty Haunts podcast. Just talked to her earlier in the week. She is on just a little bit of a hiatus, and she'll be back here very soon with Jaunty Haunts. But if you want to go and check out past episodes, I highly recommend you do so wherever you find your favorite podcasts, right, Michael?
You are so right. It's the perfect time to binge everything. And if you like paranormal stories, if you like cryptids, there's a couple episodes on that. Haunted houses, demonic possession. She's really got it all. So check out Jaunty Haunts today.
Scare preview. Films that are coming out in the near or far future. And the one for me, I just watched the trailer for. It's a movie called The Dreadful. And it is directed by Natasha Kermani, stars Sophie Turner, Kit Harington, both Game of Thrones alum, and Marcia Gay Harden, who just an amazing actress. She's won an Academy Award and just been in a million different things on the stage, on screen as well. So this movie is set in 15th century England during the War of the Roses. And the story centers on Anne and her domineering mother-in-law who struggle to survive on the fringes of society. When a man from Anne's past returns from the war, his arrival sets off a chilling chain of events involving a mysterious curse and supernatural threats that test their bonds and their sanity. Blends period drama with horror elements, and it will be released in theaters and on digital February 20th. It looks really good.
I love
excited.
period piece horror, so that sounds like a lot of fun.
Agreed.
And a great cast.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you can't go wrong with that cast.
No, you cannot. Sophie Turner, she's going to be the new Tomb Raider.
That's
I don't know
right.
if you knew that.
Oh,
They
yeah,
just released,
I heard.
They just released pictures of her, and she looks ripped as fuck. So she'll probably kill it. All right, mine is one that I just saw the trailer for when I went and saw Primate. It is called Undertone, and a podcast host, they cover spooky content. They move in to care for her dying mother, and when she is sent recordings of a couple's paranormal encounter, she discovers their story parallels hers, each tape pushing her towards madness. The sound design looks like it's going to be the main driving force in this one, because in the theater it's like they're using it to something's talking over here, and it's all this creepy voice. So this is when I say, if you don't have surround sound at home, you're probably going to want to see it in theaters for that, because it looks like it's going to be a huge part of it. Very creepy. It's directed by Ian Tucson. I don't know him, but looks really good. It's coming March 13th, so just a little bit over 2 months.
Perfect.
It's pretty close.
Yes, good stuff. Yeah,
Well,
I think
we
it's
got
going to
some
be a good
movies
year
to
for horror.
watch.
We certainly do.
Mhm.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks for joining us on episode 51. Coming up next week, I know Michael is going to be all giddy and screaming like a little girl because we're doing his
Amen.
favorite franchise, the original Scream, just in time for the new
Yes.
one that's going to be coming out next month.
I cannot wait. I'm excited. It's my favorite movie of all time, so it's gonna get a 5-star from me. Just spoiler.
Nice.
I think-
Well, yeah.
I think it's a 5 for all of us.
Yeah,
I think it's
mean-
going to
I mean,
be
it
right up there.
should be.
I might give it a 2.5 just to piss off Michael, but we'll see how that goes.
Yeah. It's so much fun to do that, though, so I get
just
it.
Just to torment the little guy here and then,
Yeah.
you know?
Unbelievable. I'll walk off this fucking podcast.
Well, Shay, what do you need a job? Because
Hey, I'll be
apparently
there. Don't you
one's going to
worry.
be available real soon here. Hey, make sure
Got
you
one more
subscribe to
week.
us on one more week. Subscribe to us on all the socials. Follow us on Instagram and on Facebook too, and tell your friends about us. And we're on YouTube.
We sure are. So you got, wave to the camera. You can see us there. You can just listen to us there. If you don't want to see us, that's also fine.
That would
Audio
be
and
preferable.
video.
It's fine,
Yeah.
I guess. Whatever.
You got options all on the youtube.com. So do that, subscribe, and if you want to email us a recommendation for a movie you want to see, you can do that as well. openingkillpod@gmail.com.
All right. Thank you, Shay, for joining us again, and we will talk to you next week.
Opening Kill is produced by Mystic Cloud Productions and hosted by Brian O'Connor and Michael Duran. New episodes drop every Thursday wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. And don't forget, you can watch the video versions on YouTube. See you next time, if you survive.